what you want, when you want it, where you want it. This is The Mesh.
Gobble, 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 gobble. Thanksgiving is here, and that means traditions, time with family, and turkey. So for today's episode of the Low and Slow Barbecue Show, we're talking turkey, and we're talking turkey with the Pitmaster behind 1976 Barbecue. We're so excited to welcome Gus the Butcher for this Thanksgiving episode. Gus, welcome to the Low and Slow Barbecue Show.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me here. That's a pleasure for me, and talking to people about the Thanksgiving, and which is like this year of 2024. It's been so great for us, and with all the things that happened here in the Carolinas with the Hurricane Helene, and we did a bunch of things good for the people in the mountains with the barbecue, and the barbecue helped us to connect with people and help people. So we are blessed for this Thanksgiving, and then and being able to give back everything that we received to us in this year. Amen.
Amen to that, Gus, for sure. And you kind of jumped the gun on me. That's the way I was going with you in this episode here. So thanks for talking about that. And we want to get into your business and who you are and talk a little bit more about Thanksgiving. And thank you so much for sharing what, Thanksgiving means to you and why you're thankful for this year. And, I wanted to share as well that for me, Thanksgiving means time together, like I said, with friends and family, really from the night before Thanksgiving, everybody's home until Sunday afternoon, eating leftovers, a lot of time with people that you love, maybe a little bit too much time with those folks. So I'm thankful for family, my patient wife, two great boys, my dad here in town with us, my in-laws, my wife's parents are so thankful for them and the special things they bring to life. So, kind of with that, I've kind of stalled a little bit and let you think about it just a touch more. So maybe just another moment, Gus, what does Thanksgiving mean to you, overall beyond just this special year in 2024?
It means a lot because I'm going to tell you, I'm from Brazil in South America. And then we came here to United States early 2016. And then since then, we built our own family here with friends, And then now I say that we have a big family that we choose to stay together. And then these people is we connect as family. So tomorrow for the Thanksgiving dinner here in my house, and I'm here in my house, I'm cooking for a couple friends. So I got probably 10 birds that I'm going to be smoking for friends that they call me Gus, can you do this? Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
Yeah.
This is what I love doing, And, but Thanksgiving for me is appreciation in everything that you got from, doesn't matter where it's coming from. If you're putting passion in everything you do, it's loving your family, your friends, and giving to people. The guy over there is going to give you much more. You know what I mean? And then you don't need to ask for anything. Things comes automatically, So this is what in a few words, what Thanksgiving means to me.
Yeah.
And for my family, my wife, my two daughters, and I'm so glad because we are all connected with everything about the barbecue and the food business and all the things that we do together. So we are very thankful for this moment. And then this is the moment that we needed to give back for the ones who supported us through the year and is been supporting us since many years,
Yeah, that's really great perspective from Gus there, and I appreciate you sharing a little bit more of that story. And we're going to talk more about Gus the Butcher and 1976 barbecue and get some turkey tips from Gus and more Thanksgiving thoughts as we kind of continue today's episode. We're also going to find out about, like I said, that business and his barbecue journey. Of course, everybody out there, I'm thankful for you listening to this episode and all the episodes that you've taken in. If this episode episode is sparking your interest for the first time or you're a longtime listener, visit lowslowbbqshow.com and subscribe to our newsletter, The Lowdown. While you're there, look around, visit the blog, or listen to other podcast episodes with pitmasters from across the Carolinas, like today's guest. Again, it's Gus the Butcher. So, Gus, let's start talking about your business, 1976 Barbecue. What is it, and how did you get your start with that?
Okay, that's a funny story. So, as I mentioned, like I'm from Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so I'm from the South, and my wife, she's from the North. So she's literally from the Amazon state.
Okay.
So when we moved over here, and I don't know if you know about this, but like the population who lives in the Amazon, they eat more fish than anybody else throughout the country.
Okay.
So my wife, she was here, and she was like, Gus, I'm begging for like the tambaqui fish, and this was in 2018, 19. And then I said, like, we don't have tambaqui fish, which is like the close to the black pacu here in the United States. And then I said, okay, let's gonna import some fish. And she goes like, are you crazy? And I said, no, I'm not crazy. Like, if you want the fish, let's gonna try to bring the fish over here. So anyhow, her cousin and myself, we decided to open up a company that called Amazon Fish LLC. And then we did something with some guys who are dealing with all the imports and export things, a company in Brazil. Believe it or not, but we bought like a full container of fish and we brought to the United States. Yeah. We went through all the FDA, all these things, to bring the thing because the fish was frozen. So can you imagine, like, you have to have a full container on the water for 25 days. Refrigerator is going to it's going to go to the dock in Florida in somewhere, in Jacksonville, whatever. And
lot
then,
of logistics.
Okay, yes. So we went through all of this, and we had some connections from New Jersey down to Florida, and we spread the fish. Then the pandemic kicks in, and then I go like, we got a problem.
Oh.
How are we going to sell this thing? Like, I need just like 5 fish for my wife, but we got a full container. Anyhow, I started visiting some of the restaurants in Uptown Charlotte and then cooking the fish. So the first one that I went was Chima Steakhouse in Uptown Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was cooking the fish for the chef, who was a lady located in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And she manages all these locations throughout from Pennsylvania down to Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Chima has a couple restaurants in those places. And then I started like selling the fish. So, and then we started selling the fish to the people, And then I was like, no, okay, here's the recipe. Here's how you're gonna cook. So you don't know how to cook? I can go to your house and I'm gonna cook the fish for you. So we started like this. Then I said, like, that's interesting because, like, we are not selling the fish as much as we were expecting. Then I started, like, and you think you're going to go, like, God, you're crazy. And, like, I started making, like, fish sausages, believe it or not.
Fish sausage.
Fish
okay,
sausage.
I'm starting to see some connection. Okay.
This is why when I created the Gus the Butcher. So I was grinding. So to do all the emulsification for the sausage, I said, I cannot use pork fat because this will change the taste of the sausage at all, and it doesn't taste like fish.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did was I started grinding the skin in like a little bones, fish bones together to try to bring all the collagen into the lean meat of the fish to help with the emulsification. So then I did the first fish sausage. So where I live here in Indian Land, South Carolina, there is a community, there's a couple folks from New York, and then they were like, Gus, do you make like a fresh parsley Italian with a provolone cheese? And I said, yes, if I make fish sausage, of course I can make like Italian, whatever. And then I started making like Italian sausage.
Yeah.
And Gus, can you make like the traditional Italian sausage with red bell pepper and fresh onions? Yes, I can make it. Do you want like hot casing or sheet casing? No. Okay, I can make this for. So I got into this sausage thing, and this is when like Gus the Butcher became like Gus the Butcher. So then I went to the curing meats as well. And I was curing like salamis,
Mm-hmm.
prosciuttos, and
Mm-hmm.
all of these things. Along with this, because of the love I've got on the cooking side, I started like, okay, people is asking me like, can you make this? And I said, yes, I can make that. Can you make some like the Brazilian steaks, like the picanha? And then because we're gonna have like a gathering here in the house, and then I grab my like kettle, Weber kettle, go to the someone's house here in the neighborhood, and then I was cooking for families, and this thing started growing, 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 growing. I got into the American barbecue, and then I went to this was in 2000 end of 2020, 2021.
Mm-hmm.
And then I knew a couple friends, and even like Edmar Simões at
Mm-hmm.
Noble Smoke. And I said, buddy, I need to spend some time at the smokehouse. And why, Gus? Yeah, because I need to learn this thing. So I can go and spend the whole night from like by the time you have to trim the brisket, it's like 5:30, 6 p.m., and then go all the way to the morning when you put the briskets in the warmers. And then like, and I can do this for free because I need to learn about this thing.
Mm.
So I've done that. And then I started learning about American barbecue,
Sure.
not only like more tradition Texas, which is like noble kind of style,
Mm-hmm.
but also doing like the porks and the ribs and the wings and the chicken thighs. And then I started like creating things myself, combining the South American barbecue cook out or grill out, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
with smoking meat. So then like when people were calling me like, Gus, can you come to the house and cook for like 20 people? We have the family gathering this coming Saturday, and we really love the picanha, but we love like can you give like some smoky flavor to the picanha? Yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
And then like I started doing this thing, and then I was watching a YouTube video from there's a guy that he like the name of his YouTube channel is like Eat More Vegans. And then that guy, he was in Monroe. He bought a Santa Maria grill from a guy called Kerry in Monroe. He has like what is the name of the company? It's like Rocket Grills.
Okay. Oh.
He started his company. He's a metal
Mm-hmm.
manufacturer,
Mm-hmm.
and he has a shop like a barn in his backyard. So he started doing like uh, building the rocket stoves,
Right. Right.
and then like I was watching the YouTube video, and my wife was next to me, and I said like, this guy is like he's now a neighbor. He's right here. I need to go see him.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to his place. And then like, hey buddy, I'm here because like I watched your video with the Eat More Vegans, and then like the guy bought the Santa Maria grill from you, and I need you to build like a rig for me. So then, if you check my Instagram, the 1976 barbecue,
Yeah.
you see my rig over there.
Sure.
So this guy built that one. So after
Okay.
that, I bought like the rocket stoves. Now we are working another project that he's building for me.
Yeah.
Like and it's no non-stop. It's like it looks like a snowball. You know.
Uh-huh.
And then yeah, that's it. And then recently, like last week, I went to Austin, Texas, to see a couple of pitmasters that I follow on Instagram. I went down to close to San Antonio as well.
Yeah, I
Uh,
want to get into that Texas trip just a little bit, but before we
yeah,
get off your business, I want to talk a little bit more about 1976 barbecue specifically. First of all, where did you get the name from, and what do you feel like your specialties are today? It sounded like you had kind of a winding path to get to the
yeah.
rig and the barbecue, but where did you get the name, and what do you specialize in now? It's knowing you can do kind of everything.
I am from 1976 barbecue. This is the year I born.
Oh,
And
okay.
then
Well, happy
and
birthday
then
to us both.
yeah. Then like my family when I'm in the kitchen, they say like, Gus, looks like you knew how to cook the day you born. And then okay, the name of this company is gonna be 1976 barbecue.
There you go.
So then became 1976 barbecue. A bunch of people asking me about this thing, and I said, And by the way, 76 is a good year. So,
No
you know
doubt.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So the specialties for you guys today.
Well, we are we are here in the house, and I'm so glad to have my two daughters. I have two daughters. One is 20. My youngest she is 15, and we are together here prepping everything for the the families that are coming here tomorrow for
Mm.
dinner.
Hmm.
And I always say like, hey, the leftovers we're gonna give to someone, you know, and mainly during Christmas we go to some you know, homeless shelters,
Hmm.
and we prepare a whole meal for them, and then I always take my daughters to do the front work. You know, I do all the prep, I take them, and then we go to the shelters and we give food to the people.
Hmm.
And I always say like this is something that we do. I'm talking about this here right now, but like we what this hand does, this one doesn't need to know. You know, like just do it. You know what I
Sure.
mean? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. So, obviously, catering business is kind of the show, and I know you do a lot of events around town. How often are you out serving? How often are you busy on any given
We've
month or year? And how can folks find out about you if they want to get a catering event?
Well, they can go to my website with the 1976barbecue.com.
Okay.
Also, 1976 Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
All my information is up there. If you go to my website, there is like some food menus and some package that you can choose,
Mm-hmm.
and then call me directly. We can work together in the menu, and then like if you needed to change anything, they can change. We can accommodate. We can talk about like even like for this Christmas time, I got a bunch of people call me like, Gus, let's gonna do the prime ribs, smoked and everything. So that's what one of the things that I do, and I like to smoke and then go straight to the like very hot fire to sear the meat, you
Mm.
know, and yeah, we started this thing with the barbecue in 2020, and then right now I think that I can say that we've been busy like pretty much every weekend um, doing barbecue. So this coming Saturday we got a private event, is a birthday celebration in Waxhaw, North
Uh
Carolina.
huh.
The following weekend we are serving Elevation Church in River Walk in Rocky Hill, South Carolina. So yeah, we are busy.
Well, congratulations for that. That's great news for you. I follow you on Instagram and other people can too. It's at gus.thebutcher. And of course, 1976 Barbecue has an Instagram post. Wow. And Gus, the food just looks really good there.
Yeah,
Mouth watering. And clearly you guys can do a lot of, hey, I also see it says master, shoot, I don't even know if I can say that word,
charcuterie.
charcutier.
Yes,
What does
yes.
that mean? Is that something
It's
you've got to
like
learn about, or
char-
tell me about that?
charcuterie comes from the French, but like
Right.
I say that everything started in Italy. I think
Uh huh. Okay.
curing meats and like in a. It's like when I went to Texas last week, and I went to Lockhart, Texas, where is the place where like I was trying to look at the history and say, okay, where's the place where barbecue in Texas born? Maybe I'm wrong about this, but like the things that I found out was like that the cowboys, they're moving the cattle through the states,
Hmm.
and in Lockhart was the place that they did the stop to eat and rest. So, and then I went to visit like the Black's Barbecue in a little small town where the pit like it started like in 1900 or something, you know,
Yeah.
or
Wow.
some places like, and then like this horizontal pits, and they're still the same thing. They're still doing the same process, just salt and pepper, and very simple, low and slow, and then
Mm.
you got great food out of there. So I've never ate like too many meat in a week as a we did last week.
What do you feel like your best stop was? You've mentioned that a couple of those places, but what was the best thing that you had during your Texas trip?
I Lockhart was phenomenal for me because like I really appreciate everything that the Pitmasters they do in Austin, and they do a really good job. Like
Hmm.
I was talking to the Pitmasters at Franklin Barbecue. This was I think last Saturday, and they were like cooking like 200 briskets for the next day, and
Hmm.
then like and they do like a phenomenal job. Um, Terry Black's barbecue, the guys were cooking like 300 briskets per day. Like that's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane. When you go to a place that they have like 1,000 gallon smoker, and then you go like maybe I'm gonna be 6, and then you see like 15. Come on, you know that's amazing. But like going south, close to San Antonio, Texas,
Uh-huh.
that thing impressed me a lot to see like 5, 7 generations running the business as they started. That
Yeah.
was phenomenal, phenomenal.
That's right. Did you have a preference, anything that you ate in particular that just stands out in your mind? Now, again, as
One
somebody
thing
that's
that
from
I
that Adam
like it
Salted,
that
I saw some sausage pics.
one of the things that I like it was the slammers. This is like a you prepare everything for the sausage, but you don't case in that thing, right?
Hmm.
So what you're gonna do? Imagine like a meatball, but like you're gonna make the meatball like long, and then you're gonna wrap it with layers of bacon. Inside of this thing, you're gonna put like a piece of cheddar cheese and a jalapeno, and you're gonna put on a smoker.
Mm.
So then they call this slammers. And then like I was at the pit room talking to the pit master and said like, Gus, this is what we sell a lot here. The cheddar jalapeno sausage is not as popular as the slammers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then like I love that thing, and I said I'm gonna start doing this in the Carolinas for sure.
Right. You brought something back. We're going to look for it from Gus the Butcher, innovating the slammers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was really good. I really like it. And believe it or not, like we ate so much, and then like on the way to the airport, we were driving from Lockhart. That was the last day, and it was 3.5 hours for me to go to Dallas Fort Worth Airport. And then I had leftovers in the car, and I thought my wife was traveling with me, and I said like, I'm gonna make through the security with these leftovers, and I'm gonna bring home. So
Right.
we made through the security, and I was with the
Wow.
bags. Yes. So, and I brought sausages and all my leftovers with me. The next day in the morning, when we were here, I woke up in the morning and said, you know what? I'm going to make Texas barbecue tacos for my breakfast today with the leftovers that we brought from Texas.
Right. Yeah. Wow, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
I can't get an open bottle of water through the airport checker, but I guess if you're coming through Texas, it's expected for people to bring in leftover barbecue home. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny. Hey, so we're going to get to Turkey Day tips here in just a second, but Gus, you've had a great road and an interesting, distinct journey.
Yeah.
Obviously, running a business is no easy walk in the park, and obviously, every weekend with an event.
Yeah.
What keeps you doing it? Why do you do what you do in 1976 barbecuing as Gus the Butcher?
It's like this is what I love to do. For me, it's not a work. This is like a family together, put the hands on together, and preparing our food. And the food that we prepare for ourselves is the food that we want to give to people. So, and we enjoy so much the food that we make for ourselves that like people like what we do. So, and then I think that we are on the right path. So that's the only thing is like if you have passion in what you do, like
Hmm.
that's not your it's your work, you generate revenue for you, but like it's like automatically what we are doing, you know. I just do it. And we are in a hunting season and have folks that they are up in Buffalo, New York hunting. And I got a friend of mine, Anthony, he was texting messaging, Gus, I'm bringing like deer meat. Can you please would you be able to make summer sausage for me when I got home? And I said, yeah, absolutely, I can.
Yeah.
As long as I keep some for me as well.
Sure. That's nice to have a little side benefit there.
Yeah.
Processing the meat. Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Okay, so
Yeah.
let's talk turkey, Gus. I've been talking about it since the start of the show. We talked a little bit about, the Thanksgiving and what it means to us. But, if Gus is sitting down, and this is for you now, you're having the meal. It's your Thanksgiving meal. You're there with all your family. What are two things on the menu that you've got to have?
Turkey breast and sausage stuffing.
Sausage
That's one of
stuffing.
my-
Oh, sweet.
That's one of my favorites. Yeah. And if I can add the third one, I would add collard greens with the smoked bacon that I make myself on the spot.
Yeah.
So that's the perfect combination. And I'm gonna see this when I'm fixing my plate tomorrow. I'm gonna see slices of turkey breast, collard greens, and sausage stuffing.
Oh man! Oh, that sounds so good. All right, so and turkey tips. That's something that I want you to talk about, because I know that everybody's got a little bit of a different process. So I want you to walk us through what your turkey preparation process starts. But before you kind of at the start of that process, first maybe give an overlooked piece of advice for somebody that's smoking a turkey. What's something that somebody doesn't always remember, but they should, and then kind of walk us through what your general smoking turkey process looks like.
Yeah, always like we go and like in smoking any kind of meat, we needed to go low and slow, and like seasoning wise, I always say like go for your preference. It's not like that my seasoning is the best one or someone else's seasoning is that rub is fantastic. No, do what you want. That's your meat. There's nothing wrong with that. So what I like to do when I'm preparing the turkey is like always I put them on a marinade bath, you know, and for the minimum 72 hours. That's me
Mm-hmm.
doing this.
Mm-hmm.
This is the way how I like to do. And then like the day that I'm gonna start like preparing them, taking out of the bath, and start the seasoning. I like to do my own injection things. So I inject them. There's a little bit of butter together. So I make sure that I inject the muscles in the right way. So when you cut the breast, for example, you don't want to see like a spot of the things that you injected in one area and then in the other areas you don't see anything. I
Mm-hmm.
try to have the thing like all the way through the muscle. Um, then I season it and then I put it into the smoker. So the smoker needs to run between 250 to 75, and then I control the temp of the bird all the time. Spritz a little bit with apple cider vinegar and apple juice, combine it with water. That's easy, simple. And then I check the temp on the thickest parts of the muscles of the turkey breast.
Mm-hmm.
One tip that I would like to share, and this is one of the things that I do. So between the thigh and the leg, which is tied to the breast, I say like that's the thickest part. You need to go with your thermometer in between that thing, because sometimes when you check the breast and then like, okay, it's 165, it's ready to take out and then put this to rest. Maybe in that part is 150 or maybe less than this. So you have that part uncooked. And I learned this thing with my mistakes, So this is where I go with my probe and I say, let me poke here. Make sure that I don't care the temp here. I care about the temp right down here,
Mm-hmm.
And then 165 is like you gotta remove that guy, let him to rest, and then you're gonna retain all the moisture inside of the muscle, the meat, and then it's like wait for 30 minutes or so, and then you can start slicing and serving like your family.
Wonderful. Oh boy, that sounds good. My mouth is watering for
Yeah.
Thanksgiving dinner. That's for sure good. One thing I wanted to kind of circle back to before we wrap it up here is your rig. The thing that I saw you with, or I guess our friend Edgemar Samoa has had out at the Carolina Barbecue Festival, and I think I've actually seen you dragging it down the road here around Charlotte before
Yeah.
somewhere. So tell me about that thing, and what all is included on it, because you're not just smoking on it. You've got a lot of different things you can do with it. So take a quick minute and tell us about that before we wrap it up.
Yeah, we got it. Like we got a reverse flow smoker, So in the back we have like a smoke tower, so with 4 shelves right on top of the firebox, and then you got the chamber here with 2 shelves.
Mm-hmm.
So in the front of this area, we got a Santa Maria grill in one side, and on the other side, I got a stove that I pull from the trailer thing, and I connect a propane tank. So if I need to fry something, and then I can put like a casting iron plate grill,
Mm-hmm.
and then I can do burgers there. I can do the Santa Maria grill with the Argentinian and Brazilian style cookout, along with the smoking thing. So we got a combination in one piece of equipment, and then Carrie from Monroe and myself, we went through this thing, and I go like, "Hey, buddy, can you change this?" And he go, Gus, you're changing this thing like many times. Or my mind is going through the roof with this thing, and then we are going through the same thing with the next one that we are building right now. And
Mm-hmm.
then and I told him like, and he said, Gus, I'm about to start this thing this coming week after Thanksgiving. I said like, I'm going to the shop. And he said, yeah, it's better you to come because we need to review everything that we discussed because you've been sending me pictures and pictures. Can you add this? Like, I am an ads on guy, like the mom needs to go like, stop.
At some point, it turns into Frankenstein. You got Frankenstein with everything on there. But I would say that what you're operating now is short of Frankenstein. And as someone like you, I was born in 1976. I think it's a
Yeah,
cool looking ride going downtown. You guys look cool when you're cooking on it with the live fire and the smoking going at the same time. And the
yeah,
1976 all over it. So really cool looking thing you got there,
yeah,
Gus. So
yeah.
have definitely enjoyed spending some time with you here. How do people keep track of you? Where can they keep coming out and finding you when you're out serving publicly? And then obviously you mentioned how to get you online.
Yeah, so there is a event company, and Greg is the owner, the Drink, Eat, and Relax. They do events like live fire cooking and
Mm-hmm.
drinks, whiskey, wine, and fire, all the way from Baltimore, Maryland, down to Florida or Georgia, something like this. And we did some events with them that was like very very cool. Was fantastic. Greg is a great guy, and he loves the cooking. He loves to connect people. He has like a big heart, you know. So in the Valentine backyard, when we have those types of events from drinking, we eat and relax.
Mm-hmm.
In most of them, we are there. We are planning to go this coming year in 2025. So if you are watching this podcast, make sure that like you stay on like with the eyes out on those events because they are really cool, good people, family, friends,
Mm-hmm.
and then like it's a good place to go to enjoy great food, live fire cooking here in Charlotte. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll keep our eyes peeled for that too, and of course, look at you on Instagram. And I mentioned Instagram a couple of times, but I also saw your Facebook stuff. And again, great pictures over there. So you can follow Gus the Butcher on Facebook or 1976 Barbecue on Instagram. He's also Gus.the Butcher at Instagram as well. So Gus, we're gonna wrap it up here with our low and slow showdown, and we're gonna kind of abbreviate it here for our Thanksgiving edition. So before we get to Thanksgiving, if there is a barbecue type place that you grew up on in Brazil, what you might call barbecue, what was it that you grew up on? What did you enjoy most growing up on in the barbecue type world?
Um, in Brazil, always like as like brisket or pork here is the big thing.
Mm-hmm.
In Brazil is the top sirloin with the cap on that we call picanha.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's the meat. Like when you go to a Brazilian barbecue, you gotta look after that. And then if the picanha is cooked to the doneness, to the perfection, you know that the guy who is running the grill, that instead of us calling Pitmaster, we call churrasqueiro. That's the guy that you have to go like, you're doing a great job, buddy.
Yeah. Say that again. What is it?
Churrasqueiro, which
Oh,
is instead of saying like Brazilian barbecue, we say Brazilian churrasco.
okay. All right.
Okay, and the guy who's running the grill, we call him churrasqueiro.
Okay. That makes sense.
So, and then you have to go to the guy who is the churrasqueiro and say like, "You're doing an awesome job, buddy. Thanks for it." That picanha was like right on the spot.
Good.
Yeah,
So that's a good memory. You'll look out for that guy. And I know who I'm going to go see for the picanha is going to be Gus or Edgemar somewhere out there in the
yeah.
Charlotte area. Anyway, so what about your current barbecue go to when Gus is in town? It's not Gus's stuff, but if you're having barbecue around the Queen City or anywhere around the Carolinas, where are you going to go?
I go to like in the Carolinas. I have to mention the guy that you're using the hat. You know, John G's barbecue. He is phenomenal.
Oh, yeah, yeah, for
Beyond the
sure.
beyond the beyond the like his barbecue, like but him and his wife, they're like awesome people. And then like you don't need to if you start talking to him, you know that you're gonna have great food. That's
Hmm.
it. So, but also like here in Uptown Charlotte, I always refer to Noble because Noble opened the doors for me
Sure.
when I started like going to. I want to learn about the barbecue. When I did the thing in the mountains, when I went to Black Mountains to give barbecue to the families that was affected by the hurricane. My rig, my capacity is limited at the moment,
Hmm.
and then they let me use their rig.
Mm-hmm.
So I brought out the meat, and then I used the rig to prepare all the food that I was bringing over to the mountains the next day. So I'm so grateful and I'm thankful for that, and I'm always going to refer to the guys who's running the smokehouse over there and the managers that are running that place. They do that thing with their heart, and like Edmar was one of the guys running those pits over there. You probably been there, you know what I'm talking about.
Hmm.
And Edmar is like he's my buddy,
Yeah.
he's my brother. So um, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, good. Okay. So, what is your favorite protein to eat? Now, I know you mentioned the picanha, but is it that, or is it going to be pork or chicken or turkey or something else? You started on fish. What's your favorite protein?
Um, you know what? I love a lot the tri-tip.
Yeah.
Tri-tip is one of my favorites. And I went to Richmond, Virginia, to one of Tuffy Stone's class. And then when I got there, Tuffy was joking with me and saying like, "Hey, I know that we got a debaucher here in the house," and I was in his like cooking class thing, and then so I knew that was about me. And Tuffy, he went to Brazil a couple times for the churrascada uh, in the south of the country, and then he said, "We know how to smoke a good tri-tip that you guys call tri-tip in Brazil, like maminha. So that's the name that we call tri-tip in Portuguese in Brazil. We call
Oh,
maminha.
okay.
So that's the same cut. And what I like doing with this is like put on a smoker for about 40 minutes just to give a little of smoke and then move to the grill with hot fire.
Yeah.
Then like when you got the temp 130, 135 max, pull them out, put to rest, and slice it. That's phenomenal. That's my go-to if I need to
Yeah.
pick one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Fantastic tips. Okay. We're bringing it back to Thanksgiving here, Gus. You talked about your favorite sides and what you're going to see on your plate. What is your favorite Thanksgiving dessert?
Um, the Brazilian pudding
What is that?
looks like a flan. That's
Okay.
that's a flan. That's
Yeah.
a flan. And then, but like this is my wife's main thing when she does the dessert, and I love the things. I love the banana pudding. I love the cobblers and all the things.
Hmm.
But like the her flan is my favorite. Like sometimes I joke with her. I'm like, you look like you're preparing this like my grandma. My grandma was preparing that
Oh,
thing. So
yeah.
that's the Brazilian flan, which
Okay.
is the one that I like the most. Yeah.
Brazilian flan. Nice. So, I hate to take it this way, but what about your least favorite dish? What's the dish you're always going to skip at the Thanksgiving table?
Um, it's difficult because I like pretty much everything.
Yeah, it's hard not to like something.
I go to the Argentinian styles when they put like intestines on a grill and things like this. I do this thing. I like to eat like livers on a grill. I do that thing as well. Kind of weird for some people.
Uh huh.
But like what I would skip for Thanksgiving, Italian food. Like Italian food is like normal for me during the week. You know,
Yeah.
but like I wouldn't do like a lasagna in the Thanksgiving day. That's it.
Makes sense. Makes
But
sense. Good answer.
I love lasagna and I love
Yeah,
Italian
but
food
not
as
on
well.
Thanksgiving.
Not
No.
on Thanksgiving. Yeah, it doesn't match for me.
No, not at all. Okay, so
Yeah.
if you look at all the states in the United States, and you've already talked about one and two of them, really, which state has the best barbecue? Which state is the best for barbecue?
Um, between Texas and then the Carolinas, they're a different style. So it depends on where my mind is going to that day.
Yeah,
That's it. Uh, I'm not gonna pick one. So
there's no choice.
I love the Carolinas. That's my place.
Yeah,
I love the people here, and I love pork. Um, but I love like beef as well.
sure, sure. Okay, well, I'm going to make you pick another one, or at least try to. Here in the Carolinas, what is the best barbecue style? The Eastern, Lexington, or the
Lexington,
South Carolina
Lex,
mustard?
Lexington,
Lexington,
Lexington.
you're very assertive with that. So why
Yeah,
why so bold in that?
because like when you go to Lexington, you go to this way, and I think that you can get some mix between Western and Eastern
Yeah.
in Lexington. You know, and when I went to Lexington barbecue to have a dinner with my family one day, their coleslaw is fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Fantastic. And like very simple. The combination with the pulled pork and the coleslaw, but like that coleslaw for me is something that like still here on my mind since those days. Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
And
super
believe it or
fun to
not, I try to
chop.
replicate the recipe here. Um, and that's always my reference when we are making the coleslaw. I needed to get close to the taste that I had when I went to Lexington barbecue.
Gotcha. Well, I'm not going to reveal too many secrets, but I got the sauce and slaw recipe on my blog from my wife's
Okay.
grandmother from Davidson County, and she knew some of those people. So again, not going to say any. There's no secret. You do it.
Yeah,
But it's
yeah,
great. I'm
yeah,
right there with you. I love some Lexington slaw. So you
yeah.
mentioned that, but if you're having your barbecue, do you want it with sauce or without?
It depends. I'll always go first bite without sauce, and then the second one I try with the sauce, and then to make some comparisons like on my taste. But I like to go plain first, and then try with the sauces and everything else.
Gotcha. Okay, last question, curveball time. Is barbecue a verb or a noun?
Is a combination of both, maybe. Is like when you're barbecuing, you are in the cooking thing, making barbecue, but like what you're doing is barbecue. which is a noun for me.
It's not a wrong answer.
That's the name
that's
of
a great
what you're
answer.
doing. You're doing
cooking
barbecue.
it as a verb and you're eating it as a noun. Not a wrong answer. Barbecue is both. And that, my friends, is the lowdown from the Pitmaster of 1976 barbecue, Gus the Butcher. Gus, thanks so much for joining us today.
Absolutely. Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, had a great time. You've been listening to the Low and Slow Barbecue Show on the Mesh.tv network of podcasts. Please take a moment and visit us online at lowslowbbqshow.com to subscribe to our newsletter today. We'll send you Carolina barbecue news, events, podcasts, links, blogs, other stuff, all that directly to your inbox on Tuesday mornings. And a quick reminder, be on the lookout for our next holiday season episode of the Low and Slow Barbecue Show. I'll be with our friends from Three Beers Down. We'll have some barbecue. We'll have some blindfolds and some bold declarations about the best barbecue around these parts. That's coming up in December. Until then, for this Thanksgiving edition of the Low and Slow Barbecue Show, I want to say thank you to our producer, Andrew Moose, and the whole team at the Mesh.tv network of podcasts. Most especially, thank you for listening to the Low and Slow Barbecue Show. Remember, for the best barbecue and the best barbecue podcast, make it low and slow.
You've been listening to The Mesh, an online media network of shows and programs ranging from business to arts, sports to entertainment, music to community. All programs are available on the website as well as through iTunes and YouTube. Check us out online at themesh.tv. Discover other network shows and give us feedback on what you just heard.